If you like flowers and you like them bright, then hang around because I've got 3 easy cards to share. Hi, it's Therese from Lostinpaper, and I'm here to celebrate Altenew's 6th anniversary, and I'm really excited to be a part of this amazing company. And there is a difficult time in this world at the moment for everybody, and Altenew have decided to go ahead with this celebration to give people inspiration and hope. And that is why I chose this flower set, and I chose to make some bright, beautiful cards, hopefully to cheer you up in these difficult times. Alright, so I've been stamping out the flower. This is a statement flower. It doesn't have a outline image in the set, which I normally would go for because I like to colour. But what I thought I'd do was change it up and actually stamp it out in 2 sets of colours. Basically, I've used the cherry blossom and the golden sunset combinations, and to lighten them up I used either the first 3 colours or the second 3 colours in the sets of 4, and that just gives your image a totally different look. And I ended up with 1 light and 1 darker flower, and I did the same thing on the leaves as well and used the coordinating dies to cut them out. So I want to create a panel for the front of my card. I've got some Autumn Blaze cardstock and the window sphere die. I want to partially die cut this. So I'm making a tick mark on the back of my cardstock, and I've got the die cut taped in place, and that way I can actually just partially die cut it. So I'm laying the top plate where I want the die to cut to, and I am using my metal shim here just to add a little bit of extra pressure because it is an intricate die. Other than that, I just use my normal sandwich in the die cutting machine and end up with a partial die cut. My sentiment here I'm stamping with some obsidian black ink, and it's from the engraved flower set. There's a really pretty fonts in this set, and I used my Misty to help me stamp that out. Added some fun foam and tape to my panel so that I can pop that up on the front of my top fold card, and then I also used some foam dots to pop my flower up as well. But I wanted the flower and the leaves to be popped up at the same time, so I just added a bit of glue tape behind my flower to hold the leaves in place, and that way I'm not having to shift my image around on the front of my card because it's not going to be very tolerant to that with all that fine intricate die cutting there. This flower is absolutely stunning. Because I stamped out the 4 of them, I thought it makes sense to make 3 cards. I was only going to make 1 card, but I figured if I'm lining them up in the Misty, I might as well make more, and I'm not putting them back in the pack. I'm trying to use what I create. It's a good theory, doesn't always happen. I wanted to create an ombre background for my second card. I've got it's more of that cherry blossom colour. That's the cardstock gradient cardstock pack, and I've cut them down to 1 1/4 inch strips and attaching them to a piece of, this is just some scrap cardstock. It's not cut to the size I need yet because I figure I can cut it down once I've got all these taped in place, and it means I don't have to be so perfect in lining up my pieces for the panel. You could also blend something like this. If you didn't have the cardstocks, you could actually use some tape and blend each section off to get the gradient look, or even blend it together to make it all nice and smooth. That'd be pretty too. The sentiment for this card comes from the set Across the Pond, which has English spelling in the sentiments, so nice for us in Australia. And again, I've popped up my flowers, and this time I did do them in 2 different heights off the front of the card. So the base flower only has 1 set of foam dots behind it, and the second one that sits up a little bit higher has 2 on top of each other, just to make it a little bit more dimensional. And I can just visualize where I want the flowers to be and press down, hello, thank you very much. And I've added some of the new sequins from Altenew, and these are the satin white ones. My final card, I decided to do an inlay die cut technique. So I've got a piece of white cardstock here, and I just kind of put my flower and leaf in place where I knew I wanted to place them on my card panel, and then I ran that through my die cutting machine, removed the die cut, which I can use on another project later, and I've got a piece of copy paper here that I'm creating like a false back with by adding some adhesive tape to, and I can just attach that to the back of my panel so that I can inlay the leaf like a jigsaw piece into there. And I want to do the same with the flower. So I'm kind of lining up my flower, holding the die over top in the sort of angle that I want the flower to end up at, and then I can just hold that in place, run that through my die cutting machine, and that's going to create that inlay piece again. So I want to also take this to the next level, and I've got the dotted starburst debossing cover die here, and I'm just laying the whole panel over top of that because I want that impression to go through the whole panel of my card as well as onto my leaf and the flower. And once that's through my machine, then I added the copy paper behind again just to give it some support, because I do want to pop this panel up on the front of my card, and I can add that flower in place like a jigsaw puzzle piece, pop it up on the front of the card. And I did add a sentiment from the crystal frames set as well. So of course this is a celebration for Altenew, and I just want to say a big thank you to Altenew. They are an amazing company. Please stay safe and well, everybody, and I'll have the links at my blog. I'd love you to head there. There are lots of chances to win, more than usual, and if you can pop around and see the other people that are hopping along, there's always so much wonderful inspiration, and this team is incredible. I love being a part of it, and I just want to say thank you to everyone for all your support with me and my Altenew journey. Till next time, happy paper crafting. Bye.